So features and benefits we're going to talk about in this section. Now a feature is something that never changes. So it's an undeniable fact, it doesn't change depending on the customer. But a benefit, well, that will change depending on what customer you're talking to. So this changes depending on the customer. For example, in a car, obviously safety features in a car could be for a mother, the safety feature of maybe, I don't know, what is it, not power steering, yeah, so I'm terrible at cars. Power steering is the feature, so that never changes, doesn't matter who you're talking to. But the benefit for maybe a little bit of a boy racer is that they can obviously do corners easier and quicker like that. For a parent, it could be less stress to make obviously safer turns and be able to park it in smaller areas, easier for families and so on like that. So that's the feature and that's the benefit. So when we look at our type of role, let's look at the different customers that we deal with. So let's look at families. And this is the features, these are the benefits. So different features and benefits will change depending on the project you're doing. If you're doing what we're looking at, which is charity divisions, charities will send out updates. So pictures and videos. You have tax back. Cool, so if we look at updates, pictures and videos for families, the benefit is it gets the children learning, compassion. Learning compassion, being a part of the community, seeing what they're actually doing. With the tax back for families, the benefit that you could do is Christmas presents or birthday presents. Okay, if we looked at, say, tradies, the same features of updates and tax back, the benefit would be different. So the updates, obviously, is still a feature, but for a tradie, it could be that they can see where the hard-earned money goes. For the tax back, what could they do? You could say, box of beer for the guys. Beers for the site, maybe, say if they're tradies and on site. Let's look at some other types. Yeah, it's grandparents. Or like elderly, let's put elderly. Elderly, same ones, updates, tax back. The benefits could be that they stay in touch. So they can stay in touch with the community, seeing actually what's happening out and around. Obviously, they might not get out as much as obviously when they were younger. With the tax back, if they're still paying obviously that tax, that's a little bit of obviously money in the pocket. Maybe to do little one-off donations, maybe if there's someone that likes to do one-offs, or maybe, for example, it might want to do a little treat for themselves. Maybe they go down and spend it on bingo, to really do stereotypes. So they'll be spending it on stuff like that. With other types of customers, what other types of customers we got? Maybe international, so people that aren't primarily a Kiwi or from where you're from. So with internationals, you've got the same thing, updates and tax back. With these ones, you can see what happens, see in local communities, see the difference that they're actually being able to make. So you can talk about the difference they're making in local areas. With the tax back, they can do stuff for their family. They even talk about family trips so they can get around and actually see the country and see what they're actually up to. So there's loads of different ways that you can refer this. Once again, the benefit, this is very generic, which is why I'm going through this fast. The features are always staying the same. It depends what you're selling. The benefits will always change depending on the customer. You might have a tradie who's a family man, but he obviously puts family first, so you're not going to be talking about getting them a box of beer. You're going to talk maybe about Christmas presents. You might have someone that really cares about the fact that they're making a difference. That's the big drive from it, isn't the tax back. So when you talk about the tax back, you can talk about maybe, because they like doing one-off donations as well, you talk about the tax back being used for one-off donations. Once again, it all comes back down to when we talk about adapting and relating to customers. If you're asking questions, you can gather that information, find out the type of customer they are, then you can streamline your presentation. But the key thing to remember with features and benefits is we talk a lot about the fucking features, but we always forget about the benefit, because in our head we're like, oh, they could use that as a present for the kids, or they could do that for this, or do that for that. But if you're not telling the customer isn't trained in sales or trained in features and benefits, all they hear you say is the feature, which is a gift. It is an impulse factor, so it is the G, it is greed. Talks about the updates, the tax back, it is greed, so it is impulsing them. But imagine if you impulse them and then attach a benefit to it to make it more personal for them through information that you've gathered. You'll be able to tailor it a bit more. It will have a lot more of an impulse factor to get them over that buying line. So make sure when you're talking about the features, you add in the benefits, only at the right times, of course. You don't want to kill your pitch and talk too much by every time you mention a feature by dropping in the benefit. But if it's at the right thing, if you know that's going to impulse them, drop in the benefit that you're going to be talking about, maybe even in the rehashes as well. Once you've signed the customer up, make sure you're talking about all the benefits they can gain from these different types of features, so you can fill up that pitch with as much impulses, lock that customer in long term.